Hi, hello, and welcome back to the UPLIFT Healthy Lifestyle channel. I'm Vicky, and this month I'm going through my 4th Whole30 program. And to help document and share the journey, I am doing these videos, these update videos, to help me learn what I'm learning throughout the month and also share with you what I'm learning throughout the month. Every time I do a Whole30, I learn something new and I reinforce some of those habits I've learned before. So today is the update for day 6. It is Saturday, January 8th. And before I get into the actual update, I just like to tune into why. I like to remind myself and you all why I'm actually going through a Whole30. Why does anyone want to go through a Whole30, right? So when I come back to my why, it helps me ground, it helps me connect, and it helps me stay consistent so that I can be more effective. So my why has actually got multiple facets. So first of all is to detox from sugar. I have an insatiable sweet tooth and I'm working on fixing that, right? So I'm not always wanting to grab that donut or grab that candy bar or whatever it is. Develop a little self-control and also not feel like I need those sweets. And it can be hard. Cravings can be a real challenge for many people, and some of the sweet stuff can be a challenge for me. Also, I want to reduce the bloat and the inflammation that is typically caused by sugar and overly processed foods. Just the chemicals, the sugars, and all that stuff cause lots of different reactions in your body. They can make you puffy, they can help you retain water, and none of that helps you feel lean and svelte like most of us want to feel, right? And then finally, I do the Whole30 because actually in one of my previous Whole30s, I found that there was some pain developing in my shoulder. So it's, I had to look up the name, but it's calcific tendonitis. So it's buildup of calcium in the shoulder joint, and it can be very painful, causes a lot of pain. It was radiating down my arm, causing me to lose sleep, causing me to not be as active as I wanted to be. And doing one of my previous Whole30s, I found that pain diminish almost completely, right? And then it lasted for quite a while. So interestingly enough, the pain had started to come back because I haven't done Whole30 for a couple years, or I skipped last January. So the pain had started to come back, and you know, as I'm starting to avoid some of those foods again, I'm noticing off and on. So the pain will recede and then it starts to come back. It's not really sure right now, right? So we're still kind of at the tail end of week 1. So those are my whys. So again, I like to just come back to those, remind myself, remind you why I'm doing this. You know, what's the point? I don't just like cutting out food all the time, right? Overly checking labels and that kind of thing. Although, you know, as we learn, it's actually a good thing to pay attention to that stuff. So today's day 6 of this current Whole30 program. And I like to refer back to the handy Whole30 calendar as to like what I might expect to feel. And so for day 6, you know, I just might want a nap. Interestingly enough, I took a nap today. But you may recall that during the last update, it was day 2, and so it's kind of entering the hangover stage where you kind of feel hungover as your body is realizing you're not giving it some of that processed food or sugars that it had been getting. And then day 4 and 5, you know, maybe getting into kill all the things stage where maybe you're a little grumpy, right? I don't think I was really that grumpy in days 4 and 5. You know, there were some things that got under my skin a little, might have bothered me, but it's not like I bit anybody's head off. Didn't lose my shit on anything, so pretty even keel, right? I mean, every now and then we're gonna have stuff that bothers us. So, but day 6 today, and then also tomorrow, I just want a nap. So again, I took a nap today. It's not that unusual for me to take a nap on the days that I teach yoga. I have to get up a little early, you know, on a Saturday and teach yoga, get active, and then I'll come home, take a little nap. So it's not too unusual. We'll see how the rest of tomorrow goes, right? If I'm feeling sleepy, and then into week 2. After we get through tomorrow, we're getting into week 2. So that's kind of what to expect and kind of how the last few days have generally been. But like, how am I really feeling, right? So day 6, I have avoided dairy and sugar, processed foods, breads, crunchy chips, all these things that I might snack on or throw in with my lunch or that kind of thing. Generally, I'm feeling really good, right? My mind is feeling clear. I feel like I've got good energy, especially like when I go work out. I'm not feeling like my energy's tanked, or I don't feel like I have a lack of strength. I feel like I might have even some more strength, and I've been building it, but I definitely don't feel depleted because of the diet. The other thing I've noticed is I haven't been letting myself get hungry, right? In that, not that I'm snacking, because we want to try to cut the snacking habit, but in previous Whole30s, I make smaller portions of meals because I would, my standard is to have a smaller meal, have a snack a little bit later. So I'm dividing up when I eat. But this time, if you cut out the snacking and you still have the small portions, you start to feel undernourished. I'm creating larger portions this time so that I feel nice and full at the end of the meal, and then that fullness lasts me for a longer period. So I don't feel hangry. I don't feel like I need a snack. I feel pretty satiated and full. I feel pretty good. That also means that I've done a pretty good job. Pat myself on the back for meal planning and meal preparation. I haven't also felt very stressed yet, and so usually towards the end of week 1, that's not typically when I feel stressed. It hasn't all hit all these like kind of lifestyle changes that go with doing the Whole30. I typically do meal planning. I typically do meal prep. So it's not abnormal for me. These are all becoming part of my normal routine. So the only difference is I'm just cutting out a few different foods. So it doesn't feel too drastic yet. It doesn't feel like I'm undernourished by any stretch. So I feel really good. The one thing that I did have to do is I had to draw some lines in the household. So I typically prepare a lot of the meals, not all, right? Because we do share the load, but there are a lot of meals that I cook, and when I'm on Whole30, not everyone in the household does Whole30. Not everyone in the household wants Whole30 meals all the time. So there'll be 2 dinners getting cooked that night, or one night one meal gets cooked for leftovers the next, and their leftover night is my cooking night. But I don't want to be cooking every night. I don't like to do that anyway. So the line that I drew was, okay, most of the meals that you all non-30ers eat, you guys are going to cook, prepare, get ready. That way I'm not smelling all the good food and seeing what I'm missing, right? Because your willpower, I don't know if you know, your willpower actually has a limit to how much you can actually effectively say no. So if you're faced with all these opportunities to say no throughout a day, by the end of the day, it's very difficult. It's kind of like a muscle, right? You can feel nice and strong, but you put too much load on it and it can start to feel weak and tired and it doesn't want to lift anymore. So in order to help my willpower muscle, although I'm being faced with things throughout the day anyway, I've limited some of the ones that I face at home, and I think that that's helped for a successful first week. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, in addition to how I'm feeling, is some of the healthy habits over the course of my several Whole30s, the healthy habits that I have improved or learned to do through this process. And there's quite a few of them, so bear with me. So the first one is eating mindfully, right? So paying attention to what you're eating, being focused, not being distracted, so that your mind and your body actually connect to the meal that you are consuming. And then similarly, connecting to true hunger cues to minimize snacking. So, are you really hungry or are you just bored? I'm a bored snacker, right? I get bored and the first thing I want to do is eat. And usually there's plenty of food that's convenient, and so that's what I do. But one habit that stacks with that actually is hydration. So when you feel that urge to snack, connecting, are you really hungry? Have a drink first, right? A drink of water, hydrate, see if that helps. Because a lot of times your hunger cues are really thirst cues in disguise, right? We're not fully connected to understand that we're really thirsty when it feels like we might be hungry. So it's kind of an interesting little trick. Another habit is looking at food labels and avoiding those highly processed foods. So even when I'm not doing a Whole30, when I go grocery shopping, when I'm buying the food, I look at the food labels and I don't pay attention so much to like the percentages of things, like how much fat and how much sugar and how much this and how much that. Mostly I'm looking at the ingredients list, right? Is the ingredients list simple, or does it have a long list? Does it have things that I can actually pronounce and I know what they are? Or is it a bunch of scientific jargon words that, like, I really don't know what these are? So if the list is simpler, if it has easy to understand ingredients, I'm more likely to buy that over a different brand. And I'll compare labels. I'll look at one brand versus another and I'll make a choice based on what the actual ingredients are. So another habit is actually connecting with whole food. It's the Whole30, right? Connecting with whole food and what it actually tastes like without adding sugar and all these extra chemicals to change the flavor and make it hyper palatable, make it super taste good, right? So what does whole food taste like? Another habit is meal planning. It's something that I've kind of become accustomed to do over the past few years. So meal planning for the week, grocery shopping for the week, knowing that I might have to pick up a few ingredients here or there. And then the next habit, stacking with that, is meal prep. Preparing for meals, mostly like Sunday, getting the things cooked that need to be cooked, getting the little lunches put together, having things ready to go, especially snacks. If I am going to snack, if I happen to need something on a given day, having something healthy readily available, which then ties into the next habit, which is eating more vegetables, right? So eating carrots, eating different vegetables that maybe I wouldn't normally eat. So kind of experimenting with different flavors, different foods. So that kind of makes it a little more fun as well. So you're not eating the same old chicken and broccoli every night, expanding into some different types of vegetables and increasing the quantity as well. It varies the various nutrients that you can get into your body. Reducing my cravings and learning that I don't have to be a slave to them. So that's kind of a habit. Understanding how to manage my cravings is probably the better way to say that. And then not stressing about the number on the scale and really paying attention to how my clothes fit, how I feel versus a number that can fluctuate on any given day and can fluctuate based on your muscle mass to your fat percentage. You can weigh the same and look leaner if you have more muscle than somebody who has less muscle. So the other thing that the Whole30 has helped me is understand how food affects my body, right? Food is medicine if you use it as such, if you treat it as such. So if you're eating the things to help nourish your body, then your body's going to feel better. Your mind's going to feel better. And just connecting with that rather than just, I'm hungry, I need to eat, making all of these are like connected one after the other. It's when I was thinking through the list, it's funny how it just kind of stacked down, right? So making choices that make me and my body feel better. Another benefit of the practices of Whole30 that I've learned and have noticed. And then one that I already mentioned earlier is the willpower and learning how to manage that muscle that is willpower and how to keep it exercised without over stressing it. So really that's all I've got for today. So I just wanted to give an update for day 6. It's been a few days, so I thought I need to share and let you know how I'm doing. And still going strong. I feel really good, and I'll catch you up in a few more days.